Hello and welcome to the Mouth Breather Morning Show. I am Teddy. I am joined here with Maciej and Cable.
What's up? What's
What's
up?
up, fellas?
It is Tuesday, June 2nd, coming off a beautiful weekend. However, I need some clarity and I just need to make sure you guys' friendship is doing okay. So I just want to check in more than anything. It was Bree's birthday this weekend. Happy birthday, Bree. Matt had sent a little pic of this cake that he got her. And Cable, what were the words you said to me?
I don't recall the exact words, but
that's perfect. I've got them typed up here.
I asked where are the words at or something to that effect.
Where are the words at?
He said, and I quote, "This motherfucker couldn't even put her name on it."
It was not a good look, I'll be honest.
Hey, I was just fucking around though. I mean, no offense.
So I got this sheet cake, and you're right. It was like there's no name, no nothing. Let me take you behind the scenes of what happened. So the Saturday morning, I go out to the store, and I was like, shit, I didn't get a cake. So I go to the bakery section. These two old ladies are sitting there. I'm like, these guys are professionals. I'm like, what kind of cake should I get?
In the bakery section?
Yeah, that was probably a
red
flag right there.
They're just hanging out.
So I go, hey, what should I get? Because I'm not a big one. I hate sheet cake. I'm not a fan of just sweets like that. So I grew up on that Polish cake, which is different.
Okay, before we go any farther here, what is this Polish cake that you speak of? How is it different?
There's a lot of fruit and almonds. It's a lot better than what you guys eat.
That's not cake.
Fruits and almond. That's 0 for 2. So I'm out.
Anyway, so I go to these ladies. I'm like, hey, can you point me in the right direction? So she takes me to this little sheet cake section of the bakery, and I'm like, they have vanilla, they have chocolate, they have some other nasty shit. So I go, which one would you recommend, chocolate or vanilla? She's like, well, I like chocolate. I'm like, all right, perfect. So I pick it up and I leave. And then I'm like, oh shit, I forgot candles, right? Because you got to have candles for her birthday. So I go back. I already look dumb. So I pick up the candles. They're smiling at me. I'm like, all right, cool. And I leave. As I'm walking to the cash register, I look down and I notice that it's bare. It's all white, right? So I was like, do I go back and ask them to put her name or happy birthday? But then I felt like it was too late at that point, and I'm almost by the cash register. So I was like, fuck it. The candles will be sufficient enough. Turns out they weren't. So my bad. I'm going to take this opportunity and learn from it.
I will say,
back next year.
Word on the block, rumor has it, a cheesecake probably would have been your best option.
Yeah, and that's the worst part. I'm like, so do you even like this cake? She's like, well, I'm not a big fan of chocolate cheesecake or chocolate sheet cake. I'm like, oh, well, fuck me then. So,
well, you know
what?
Yeah,
that was bad.
Giving you shit. I was just giving you shit over the whole thing. You got her a cake. You went back and got candles. You put in the effort. You took her out all day on Friday.
And that's what I was going for.
Just giving you shit. And Trevor is trying to put you and me in a bad spot right here because you and me, for listeners that haven't listened before, Matt and I, we have this tendency where we clash and we don't get along over stupid things. So then I just say one little comment about Matt's cake, and then Trevor's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to pin this against them. I'm going to make them not fight. I'm going to make them fight. And you know what?
I want to clear this up for the listeners just real quick. That is, in fact, exactly what happened.
Yeah.
There's nothing to clear up.
But look,
Matt and Cable have come to –
you know it.
They came to a mutual agreement that – they are done fighting. They're not going to fight anymore.
Are done fighting.
They're just happy to be around each other and all this other bullshit because COVID's got them in their feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And so immediately after I heard that, I'm like, well, I got to start some shit.
You know what I just realized? So us three, we're you are Jerry Krause, Trevor. You're trying to fuck shit up.
I'm MJ.
I'm MJ, and then you're the guy that MJ talks shit to. Whatever. We're just depending on the night. Yeah, it's Scaparel. We'll just flip flop. One night I'll be Scaparel, That next night you'll be Scott Burrell.
Sometimes I'm Rodman though, because I'll just get drunk and not show up.
That's true. Yeah. But Trevor's always Jerry Krause.
Yeah, I'm good with that actually. That's a title I can wear.
Man, I love how Trevor just threw this in right off of the bat to try to get us going before the podcast even started.
Bro, because I have not laughed that hard in this whole quarantine.
I honestly, in the back of my mind, I'm like, no one's going to notice. And I was so wrong.
First thing Caleb says to me, he's like, couldn't put a name on it.
But I also told Matt that day. I told him I was just giving him shit then too. So
yeah, no, it's it's a learning opportunity. Like I said, I'll come back next year. But I feel like cheesecake, you can't roll up to her birthday and just show up with cheesecake and put candles on it. I feel like that's weird. It's got to be like a birthday cake. Right. I've never had cheesecake with candles.
When you think of a birthday cake, you don't think of a cheesecake.
You know, it's pretty bomb are the cheesecakes where they have like 8 different slices and they're all different flavors.
Yes.
Those are next level.
So impromptu, not a full Mount Rushmore, but just everybody's top cake, cheesecake, pie, like whatever. What would you want if you could pick your perfect whatever to have on your birthday? So whatever your favorite dessert is.
Bree wants cheesecake.
Yeah, Bree wants cheesecake. I'll do apple pie with vanilla ice cream on top.
So that's your favorite out of
that's my number one. Yeah,
cakes, all everything. Okay.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, I'm going caramel brownies, man.
Ooh,
heavy on the caramel.
Yeah, my mom makes some bomb ass caramel brownies.
Yes, Trevor's mom has hooked me up so many times with those brownies. They're so good.
Never had the pleasure.
If I had to pick, I'm gonna go either French silk or Toll House pie. Something that's so sweet that it hurts your jaw.
You could just taste the diabetes. Yeah, I like that.
I love some French silk pie.
Speaking of it, we have a new sponsorship from Wilford Brimley.
Got the goddamn diabetes.
Need a box of Liberty.
Is that guy still alive or no?
He has no legs or no arms.
I haven't seen any new commercials.
I'll look it up as we're talking here.
Please
give me a Wilford Brimley update.
Dude, this guy's still alive. Respect.
So the listeners didn't even know we just rolled out a new segment. It's the Wilford Brimley segment. We just checked to see if he's still here.
Yeah.
Dude, this man's 85 years old and he's lived with diabetes for 30 years. That's impossible. He's the Magic Johnson of diabetes.
Relating to what you just said, Trev, like you said, the new segment where we just see if he's still alive or whatever. It reminds me, I think it was Hannah that told me this a couple years ago. There, at one point in time, there was a website where you could go to, and it would tell you if DMX was in jail or not in jail at the time. I'm pretty sure Hannah is the one.
That's beautiful.
I think so as well. And I literally think that website was DMXinjail.com was the name.
Yes, I went there and it said DMX is not in jail, and it had a big picture of him, and that was it.
Hell of a website idea, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
No
There's
shit.
websites out there like that. There's a website that posts the same picture of Justin Timberlake every day, and they're on 7 or 8 years now.
That's all they do.
Yeah, that's it. Just the same picture too.
Speaking of websites,
how do you know they're updating it every day? If it's just a picture.
Well, I mean, there's a different date on each picture. So
I gotcha.
You guys remember AskJeeves.com? That was before Google, really. But when you're trying to figure out some shit, you would just Google. You'd ask the dumbest questions on Ask Jeeves, and most of the time they give you an answer. It's probably bullshit, but.
So my theory here with Ask Jeeves is Iron Man ripped off of Ask Jeeves. Have you guys watched Iron Man or Avengers at all?
I've seen the first one.
He has the assistant Jarvis, and he just goes, "Hey Jarvis," and asks it a question. I think they stole that from Jeeves.
I could see that.
But isn't that the same concept as Alexa and Google and all that now? It all stemmed from Jeeves.
True.
If you think about it in that sense.
So speaking of Tony Stark, isn't he, or Iron Man, whatever his name is, I feel like him. Do you guys hear about the comparisons of Tony Stark and Elon Musk? How they're the same person if you put them next to each other. I've actually looked this up. They're both, let me pull it up here. All right, so they're both obviously billionaires. They studied physics. What else? They're both like heavily into like technology, right? So he's got Tesla, he's got the Boring Company. Obviously, Iron Man's got his suits and what I forgot. What's his company name?
Stark Industries.
Stark Industry. There we go.
Yeah.
What else? There's like it's stupid stuff, but they have like they're both American citizens. They have the same age, height, and build.
Wait, but Elon Musk is not American.
Yeah, he's not.
But they both have citizenship, American citizenship.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Elon Musk, I think, is from like South Africa.
He's from South Africa.
He is. He's from Johannesburg, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I don't know.
You know what's crazy about that shit is like somebody has the time to go and research that and put all those stats together and put them out there. It's like I know I don't have the time to do that shit, or I don't have like the willpower to do that either. So.
Same.
Yeah, some people have a lot of time on their hands.
But speaking of Elon and having a lot of time on his hands, he built a rocket, started building a rocket years ago, and that bitch just launched.
Insane.
After a 2-day delay.
Correct. So
here's my beef with this whole thing. They made it or whatever, but
they made it or whatever.
They made it or whatever. But
he's pissed that they made it. That's his beef.
Yeah.
No.
He was hoping for a challenger.
My beef is they couldn't launch on Thursday because of a little rain, or I still don't understand why they didn't leave. An airplane can take off in the rain.
True.
Ooh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
And like I feel like they're going to be above the rain in like 2 seconds, right? Because they're going so high. Yeah.
Exactly. And they're going into space, so like if it can't handle rain, then it's definitely not going to handle space.
So
I never thought about that.
We know that the walk on the moon was staged. Like that was all fake. We never walked on the moon.
Very true. Very true.
So, was this staged?
I think it's like way easier to stage it now. I mean, there's so much more video technology and streaming and all that where you can make it look 100% real.
So maybe it's a distraction. It's staged as a distraction by the government to distract us from COVID and all the protests going on. Ooh,
fair.
That's a spin zone right there.
That is a spin zone. And hold on.
It didn't succeed. I can guarantee
it did not succeed.
That.
How many days would you have thought, with no prior background knowledge, you think it would take them to get to the International Space Station?
How many
days? How many days total?
Yep.
Like a day?
Yeah, I would say like a day or two, but it took them like, 19 hours or whatever?
Yeah, see, and my thought was like, it's probably at least a couple days. I had no idea they were already up there. They're inside chilling with them.
They're just partying.
Yeah, they're hanging out.
So, okay, obviously the 19 hours you're flying up there, like you can't like eat, drink, or like, go to the bathroom. I'm assuming, right? Because you're like strapped in. That, to me, is the biggest challenge of being an astronaut, is like holding it in.
I did see that they slept for like 7.5 hours.
What?
Yeah. Somebody had it, once they got up there, they did like interviews or whatever, and they said, did you get any sleep and with everything like going on, like excitement, adrenaline, whatever? And they were like, yeah, we got probably 7 to 8 hours of sleep during the trip.
That's got to be the most stressful.
If you guys were in that ship going up there, you think you could have slept?
Hell no.
No.
I can't sleep on an airplane. I can't imagine
this isn't these guys' first trip either, though. They've been in space before.
Yeah. So my thing with this too is I think that we're almost getting to the point of, I think it's good that we're sending people who aren't with NASA to space. I think that's great. I think anyone and everyone, hopefully in the future, far down the road, should be able to go to space if they want to. I think that'd be really cool.
Mm-hmm.
But with that being said, I think that there's a certain danger to it. Like, I don't think 5G caused coronavirus. Don't get me wrong here. But have you seen his other projects he's working on right now through SpaceX?
No.
They launched another one today that didn't get any publicity, and the other ones haven't really been getting a lot of publicity. It's a thing called Starlink. It's sent through a rocket. So this rocket goes to space. It released 60 satellites today, broadband satellites. And then the rocket came back to Earth and the satellites are up there. So Elon released 60 satellites. He currently has 500 circling the world at this moment. Elon Musk has 500 satellites.
Dang.
So and what the reason it's called Starlink And the reason it's like that is at one point in time, he's going to have two separate, that one's going to be orbiting this way around the Earth, one's going to be orbiting this way around the Earth. And it's going to create high-speed internet for everyone. We won't need internet or Wi-Fi or anything here because it's controlled through satellites above us.
That is awesome. Yes, sign me up for that.
So his whole deal is SpaceX, right? That's what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
That's his deal, and that's separate from NASA.
Right.
Who, like in the end, like who does he have to get clearance from? Does he have to get clearance from NASA?
Just the federal government, I think. Homeland Security, and that's probably about it.
Yeah, so they're saying this is the first commercially organized, I guess it was in collaboration with NASA, but essentially the first commercial flight to space, which is crazy. So like I looked it up, and like the U.S. hasn't launched anything to space since 2011 from the American soil. Right. So like previously, if we wanted to get astronauts to the space station, we had to go through Russia. We paid them $80 million for like each seat.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. So I don't know.
So how many people are up in the International Space right now?
Dude, I saw the video of these two dudes who just like who landed there yesterday, and then they like walked in to the International Space Station. There was like 4 guys there. They all instantly were like, oh, they like shook up and stuff. It was like the most relatable thing ever because they were like anticipating them coming, and it was just like a normal, just like 6 dudes just broing it out in space.
So it's awesome. Just like them 6 up there just chilling?
Yeah, just chilling, yeah.
It's all
dudes? COD. All dudes?
Yeah.
There's some gay shit
probably,
going.
It's probably gets a little lonely up there,
Yeah, it probably does.
Hey, it's that Theo Vaughn thing. It's a surprise gay at Christmas. He comes back from the space station. He's like, I'm gay.
Well, yeah, what happens in space stays in space, man.
Yeah, that's crazy. So what is their anticipated return date? Have they said, or
I'm unsure.
Experiments up there, and
I don't know. Like, what do you do? Like,
all I've heard that they do up there is like just a bunch of experiments, but I've never heard details on like what the experiments exactly are.
Same.
You know?
So if there's so many satellites up there, like how do you not hit one? Because there's satellites, there's space debris. Like, how does this rocket not just like plow through a bunch of these satellites?
And that's what I don't know. You'd almost have like an anti-magnetic thing to push any metal away from it. Because like on the launch, I was looking more at the launch details. So right before the launch happens, like 20 seconds before the launch, 500 million gallons of water are dumped underneath of that rocket.
Why?
Because when it goes up, if there wasn't the water to send the sound waves off of, it would go back off the ground and shatter the rocket above it.
Holy fuck.
That's how powerful it is.
Dude, I am so dumb when it comes to physics.
Oh, me
like
too. This is way beyond my level.
Oh yeah.
The only reason I know about it is I follow Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah.
And I just watch his videos talking about the launch. And so he's put a video out every day from the launch talking about like what happens each time something takes off. But yeah, so if there wasn't that water for every single launch, it shatters the whole rocket above it.
Wow.
It's crazy.
That's crazy. Yep. I mean, it really is amazing that they can do that. So think about it. They got there in 19 hours. What would that like be equivalent to like for like a plane ride? Like where could you get to from the United States in 19 hours?
The Maldives.
Yeah.
You know, that's like Indonesia, like somewhere over there.
Yeah. Hey, how long is it to Poland, Matt?
It's
without like layovers and like all that.
It's about 9 hours.
Like total plane time is about 9 hours.
Yep, direct flight. So I can't imagine another 10 on that. That sounds brutal.
Crazy. I think like Australia is like 14 or something around there.
I think it's more than that. I think it might be around 19, yeah. The coolest thing is too, doesn't like the capsule return? Like you know how they like as they're going.
It already went back. Like and landed right back on.
Yeah. How?
I don't know. I think that's pretty remarkable. I mean, I can't even get a signal from my Bluetooth upstairs to down here, and this man's bringing a whole ship back.
The capsule, is it like almost like drone technology? Like is somebody controlling it to bring it back?
No. So it actually, according to, once again, what I heard, is it is going up and staying the exact same trajectory above. It is a straight line.
So straight up, straight down.
That's why wind, rain, humidity, all that stuff's important, because depending on how that changes.
That would make more sense than why they delayed the launch then.
Right. So what they didn't include on there, which is kind of terrifying, they had like a self-detonate in the bottom of that thing in case. But if that didn't come back down straight where it was supposed to, it was coming back down somewhere. Oh. And that's like, it was, what'd they say it was, 95,000 pounds? Just that base. That's not the whole rocket. That's just the base of it. So it's like 95,000 pounds is going to land somewhere.
It's in your backyard.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yep.
But I think kind of my hot take with this, I think it can be bad. I think that not them going to the space station is bad, but like the Starlink Wi-Fi thing, to some degree, like this is all electricity that we're using in waves. Mm-hmm. To some point, those waves have to be bad for your body.
Oh, yeah.
Thousands of satellites and all this shit.
Right, because like the ozone layer probably doesn't block those types of waves or I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about, but you got to die somehow, right? And if you have free Wi-Fi, I'm okay with shaving a couple years off.
Fair. So this right here actually segues perfect into some listener questions. You want to get into them?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
So our first listener question, our buddy Shun texted us asking about the parallel universe. Wants us to dive into the parallel universe that was discovered through NASA and some other researchers, right? So Matt, you're just talking about the ozone and like the waves can't protect it and all this stuff. There are things called neutrinos, which is a molecular wave that like can pierce through anything. Like if it's on this side of Earth, it can pierce all the way through the Earth's core and onto the other side of the Earth.
Wow.
And so what Elon Musk is actually trying to do, and because I was doing some research on neutrino waves, because I said I would have every answer for these questions here. Elon Musk is trying to encapsulate the power of a neutrino wave.
That is insane.
Which that's honestly, it could be a energy source, a never-ending energy source for Earth.
Okay, so that was my question: is what's he going to use that for?
Right, which is dangerous. Like any bad guy movie you've seen where there's like some laser, they want to take that and then turn it into this thing to blow up the planet. What
he's going to get sharks with laser beams on it. That's what he's going to do. Like,
like Mr. Evil.
Yeah, it's Dr. Evil.
Dr. Evil. Yeah, sorry.
Dr. Evil.
So do you guys believe in this parallel universe? Do you believe that this is a real thing?
Did you do some research on it and check it out?
I did minimum research on this.
Oh, this should be good.
All I know is that
explain this to us, please. Explain this.
Time moves backwards in this. That's the most I got out of it.
Okay. So, if a parallel universe exists, which I do not think it does. That's my take on it. Yes, everything would move backwards through the article I read, which is a decently scientific article. But what they really found was those neutrino waves we've never been able to detect on Earth, ever. We've never seen them. And for those waves to happen, there was no new, there's a thing called Anitas, which is basically a big-ass cell tower in Antarctica that finds all these different types of radio waves. We haven't discovered anything new in years. It's nothing crazy.
So how do they know it exists?
Yeah, so how do they discover it?
Through galaxy science, like stuff in space. You can see them in space. They're shooting like all over space.
So it's just not present here on Earth.
It's not present in our atmosphere on Earth at all.
Dang.
So the other day when they found that parallel universe that they were joking around about, it was more that these waves are coming through, and the only way these waves are produced is by massive collisions, like two planets hitting each other. So something somewhere is making a big disturbance in basically all the galaxy and sending these. But it was enough for them to, the way the sun was positioned, they were in the bottom, there was Antarctica, and the way it was happening was they were able to feel it through the whole Earth. The waves were coming through the whole Earth, which is crazy.
That's wild.
So I was looking up like the whole parallel universe thing. Again, this is like a mind-bending concept to me. But then I saw a thing about like you mentioned, time going in reverse, but also like everything. The way they explain it is like there's a universe where like I'm president, for example, or like there's like everything has happened like in the history of time with all these different particles, but there's like multiple universes where, again, like anything could potentially be true or not true.
Right.
Like it's like I don't know. So there is a universe where I didn't fuck up the cake, and I got her name and happy birthday on the cake.
On the cheesecake.
On the cheesecake, yes. Yeah. There's a world where I'm like 6'8" and good at basketball. There's a world where the White Sox have won the past 30 World Series. Like there is.
You've been doing a lot of dreaming, I think, is what.
No, man, this is science. This is galaxy science, like Trev just said.
So here's my thing, though. Hey,
time out. First off.
Okay, go ahead.
For the YouTube viewers here, I think Matt is in space right now. He's like in the dark. We can barely see him. Like moonlight is on his face. That's about it.
Right.
Like the sun's still out outside. Like what? You don't open your blinds.
I live in a bad neighborhood.
Nothing.
I'm getting ready for the
bad neighborhood.
I have plywood all over my windows. I'm getting ready, so that's why it's dark.
Man,
shut your bitch.
All right, I'm gonna turn on the light. You guys talk.
I just had to bring that up. I've been looking at him for like 15 minutes in the dark. Like,
dude, he's unbelievable. He just does whatever he wants. You ever notice that? But no. So in this parallel universe. Oh wow! Hey, good to see you, boss.
So much.
Welcome to the podcast, man.
In this parallel universe, I think that there is a way that Elon Musk came back from a different parallel universe. So just stick with me for this entire thought here.
Right off the bat, I'm on board.
I love it. Thank you. So first, we've had all these people who have sent people to space, work for NASA, all this stuff. He's the only independent person ever who's achieved it, to my knowledge, correct?
Yes, as far as I know, yeah.
Okay. So then he comes and he builds Teslas. Like I mean, it was someone else's general engineering idea, but he brought it to fruition. So we've got that. Yep, we've got that. He's building the Cybertruck, and when interviewed and they asked, well, why would you make it bulletproof? He said, well, I think it's badass, but I think we're also going to need it coming up. So did he project what's happening right now?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm thinking this guy knows all the alternatives.
So didn't he try out like some sort of Tesla submarine type deal like a couple years ago? Do you guys remember that?
No, I don't think I remember that.
It was like a one-person like submarine capsule type deal that you would be able to like travel around in the ocean with, but they didn't get like perfected or anything. So I'm sure they're still working on it. But yeah, it was like for travel underneath the water.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised if he would have done that. He was talking about those underground, like essentially like subway systems for cars, like an interstate underground. So yeah, he's wild, man.
That's crazy.
Okay, so once his child, AEX12, whatever he is, once he grows up, is he going to come up with so much more than Elon Musk is coming up with?
So that's a good question. I would say yes, because he already has all the knowledge of that parallel universe.
Yeah, it's programmed in him. They programmed him to do that.
Yeah, or like just our society will like fry his brain and he's just going to be like watching Netflix and just get high and play Call of Duty all day.
Guarantee you within the next 5 to 10 years, Elon Musk and his family will be living in outer space.
You think so?
They got this SpaceX commercial deal going up there. He's out of here.
Really?
Once he feels safe enough that he can go up there, he's going to take his family up there and then start doing what he's doing down here up there.
Do you guys hear him on? So yeah, I could totally see that because he's like, yeah, we'll be out there in like 5 years. Like people from Earth will essentially be in Mars in 5 years. That's what he said,
but
which is crazy.
No human has gone to Mars yet.
No. And he's like confident, like, yeah, like probably 5 years.
There's some work that needs to be done there. I feel like.
I agree.
True.
Yeah.
Dang.
Hey, but Matt Damon did it though.
That's true. He did do that. He started growing some potatoes out there. Yeah. I did listen to the podcast with him and Joe Rogan, Elon Musk and Joe Rogan. Do you guys listen to that at all? It's fascinating.
I heard a little bit of it. That's about it.
So he's talking about like AI and like essentially having a chip in your brain. Like it's going to start out with like if you have some type of brain injury, right, or Alzheimer's or whatever, they're working on this chip which will send like little electrical shocks and like essentially fix like what your medical condition is. It sounds incredible.
That's awesome.
Like, obviously, like
that's impressive.
At first, it makes sense. Like that's amazing. But then, like you think about 20 years from now, like what if he can control like what you do?
Well, what about like glitches and stuff too? Like on the early ones, at least they'll probably perfect it at some point if this is a thing. But early on, like glitches and stuff, I mean that could go terribly wrong that way. Or like you were saying, it could go terribly wrong where somebody has control of that chip, just like somebody can hack into our computers right now and do whatever they want with them, you know?
Right. And so the other thing too is, did you guys ever hear about his AI thing that he had going on? Like Elon Musk's AI deal that he was working on?
No.
So he was working on an artificial intelligence thing or whatnot, and two of the robots started talking to each other while no one was in the warehouse working.
Fuck that.
What?
Fuck that.
Yep.
I'm out.
You can look it up. It was pretty fucking crazy.
It's inevitable. Like they're going to take over.
Man. That's scary.
Yep. Like you said, they're just going to take over. So
it's like some Twilight Zone shit.
So that's the thing is, so once you have those people who are, or the robots who are talking to each other, so not only can you hack into brains, so what if a robot hacks your brain? Like what?
Yeah, I don't know. We're going to need Will Smith from iRobot to kind of save us.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I would also like it to be known, real quick, side note from our conversation, that the entire time we had this conversation, I just upgraded our Zoom so that way we didn't lose our time after 40 minutes.
I saw that. I was going to make a comment, but I figured you had it. I
remembered my credit card number from my brain and all of its digits.
No, you did not.
I fucking did. I'm Elon Musk.
That's a problem right there.
You are the real MVP.
So now the problem is, now the problem's going to be when he hacks into my brain, he's going to know I know my credit card information.
Right. Yeah.
He won't get shit off of my credit card because I don't even know what the first number is.
That's hilarious.
Respect. My wife knows her credit card number, and it's scary.
I'm sure my wife does
too. Our wives also order something off of Amazon every day?
Every day. Yep.
Friday, I got the Ring doorbell app. It rang, and most of the time, I guess delivery people don't ring the doorbell. From what I figured out after I've gotten this, but this one rang, so I checked in through the video deal, checked my front porch. There's already 4 packages. This is at 10:30 in the morning. 4 packages, right?
That's addiction.
An additional 2 or 3 came throughout the rest of the day.
Damn.
How stupid is that?
You guys are going to be broke.
Yeah, we're about to have to move out of this house. We might have to move over to the ghetto.
You can move here, man.
Yeah, right. I saw that house was up for sale. I could probably pay for that in cash.
What street was that on? It was right next to Matt's address, right? You could just list it on here.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't give a shit. Yeah, that was a good question, though. The whole, like, when I started researching the whole parallel universe thing, I was like, what is going on?
Like you said earlier, Matt, like this, everything like up in space, like all this stuff, like that's just way beyond, like obviously it's way beyond all of us, but it's like even when you start to like dive into it and read about it and think about it, it's like I don't even know how to process it either, because like I don't know how it's possible.
What's the movie with Matthew McConaughey where he's out in space? And it's
Interstellar.
That's Interstellar. I still don't understand what the hell that movie is about.
That fucked up my brain so hard.
You should have seen me driving home after the theater because I saw it in theaters, and I was like, I had a conversation with myself. I'm like, what the fuck did I just watch?
Yeah. No.
Great movie. Great movie.
I'm like, this looks great, but I don't understand.
Yeah. I've probably watched it 2 or 3 times since that. It's one of my favorites, actually. I love that movie.
Switching gears just a little bit so we can like watching things. What we should do is we'll set this up for the next podcast. Between now and then, I don't know if you guys have even started or not. The Epstein documentary on Netflix. Have you guys checked it out yet?
No, but I heard it's tough to get through.
I heard it's tough, but I feel like we should get through it so we can review it on the next one.
Yeah, I'm down.
Man, talk about conspiracy theory.
It's the thing to watch on Netflix right now, from what I've heard. So
it was number 1 for like 4 days, and then Steve Carell's Space Force came out in the meantime, and now that's number 1.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that was. I thought it was gonna be a movie, but it's a TV show.
It's like a season, right?
Right. Yeah. Hopefully, we tried to watch the first episode. I thought there were some pretty funny things in it, but it was late last night, so I don't know. We'll see.
Boys, I have a season and a half left of The Office.
So good.
Tunchi's back. He's almost there.
So glad I got on this train.
I was talking to Cable about this. I'm like, it takes a dip when Michael leaves, but then it comes back up.
Right.
Like the whole D'Angelo thing. I'm like, I'm not a big fan.
D'Angelo part was rough, which kind of sucks because it was Will Ferrell. So like I expected more out of it, right? But then what's his? I can never remember. California.
Robert California.
So that's James Spader, which I watched Blacklist, and he's like the main character in Blacklist, and I really enjoy him on there. And he has like the same like wit and like subtlety in him in both of the shows. So like it's pretty cool to see that. But and Ed Helm is obviously like a way bigger part now, and he's so funny.
Yeah, he's the man.
He's so fun. The newest Vacation movie that they remade, the old Chevy Chase ones, where Ed Helm is Rusty from the old movies. Yeah, it's one of the best vacation. It's a funny movie. It's good.
Yeah,
not seen it.
Should we keep moving forward? Some listener questions here.
Yes, sir.
So our next one came from Dean on Twitter, aka Chip Skylark. He says, "Longtime listener here. You're given the responsibility to get an arena of 10,000 people to recognize a song, but you only get to play the first 3 seconds of the song. What song are you picking to get the most correct guesses?"
Ooh, that's tough.
So I did some recruitment at work. I enlisted the help of another Trevor. And this other Trevor had the best answer I think I've ever heard. He said, "We Will Rock You."
Oh, yeah. It has to be, right?
That's good.
Because, exactly.
That's a good one.
That is good. My mind automatically went to Queen to Bohemian Rhapsody when you first said it.
True. See, and I think for 10,000 people, I think "We Will Rock You." I'm getting a solid 9.5K.
100%, especially like that song is international, right? So it can be 10,000 Americans. It could be, 10,000.
Well, because think about it. Like, obviously, Queen was very, very big, very popular. But that was also a song that was played in every sporting stadium throughout the 80s and 90s.
It still plays.
Right, and it still does. Yeah.
Right.
Like, that's a good one.
What about another one, Mambo Number 5?
Yeah.
Like the beat, 1, 2, 3, 4. Like everyone knows
that's a good pick.
So I don't remember right off the top of my head how Friends in Low Places starts off right away, but that is a very well-known song.
Yeah,
it's just he strums the guitar for like 7 to 8 seconds, so I don't think people would get it.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I can't remember exactly how it starts.
So my honorable mention for this is Afro Man, Crazy Rap.
Oh,
because there's just a part right at the beginning where he goes, listen, man. I could pick that out of any song ever.
That's a really good question.
Man, that is good.
That's good. I like that.
Yeah.
Like I said, we were kind of on the same page. My mind went directly towards Bohemian Rhapsody. But I'm thinking more of like the first 3 seconds part that's the hard part because like
Yeah.
the very beginning of things. But there are songs when they come on, people hear it right away, and they're like.
Another one, Thriller, maybe.
Oh, that's a good
would
pick.
be one, right?
Yep.
What
Just
about the YMCA song?
Yep. How does it start again?
Great question.
Yeah, that's good. I like that. Good question.
I love that we're picking songs we don't know the beginning of.
You know that one song?
It's really killing it, aren't we?
Yep, we are.
Probably Dope Man by NWA.
Yeah, probably.
That's my favorite song. I recognize it every time it comes on.
Yeah.
The questions kind of take a dark turn right here. This one,
strap in, boys.
This is graphic, and when I got it, I laughed so hard, but was so disturbed. So here we go. God damn, I don't know if I can read it. You have an inch of your dick inside your mom's vagina.
Oh God.
And an inch of your dad's dick inside your butt. Do you move forwards or backwards to escape? Yes, you are hard. No sideways. And them moving away from you are not an option. It is one or the other.
Oh, that's brutal.
I choose not to go first on this one.
That's brutal.
Yikes. Whoever.
Dude, I don't know, man.
Fuck you.
Yeah, who asked this question?
Yikes.
I promised anonymity. Is that right?
Yeah.
I promised that to them for this.
Okay. I just feel
you're banned from ever asking a question on this podcast ever again. Whoever you are.
I'll let him know.
I'm just gonna answer it. Be the bigger man here. I think you got to lean forward because I mean it's disgusting.
I don't think so.
But because you check two. Okay, so if you go backwards, you check two boxes. You check two. If you go backwards, obviously incest and like.
Yeah, but it's not
like
as
you're
bad
with another guy.
Incest. It's like
with your dad.
Degree.
Incest with your dad is probably worse
it's like
than incest with your mom.
I don't know, man.
Lesser? Okay, so you pick your dad. All right, well.
Wait, so
I'd probably go.
That's exactly what you just said.
Yeah, I mean,
that's fair. That's fair.
I disagree with you. I go back instead of forward.
I actually agree with.
I don't even know why we're answering this question.
I actually agree with Cable here. I think it's lesser if you go backward.
Yeah, I mean, because think about it. If you go to, I don't know, whatever.
But spin zone, you've already been inside your mom's vagina before.
Right.
Not in that way.
My dick was technically in there.
Yeah, technically, yeah.
And it was also at 1 inch at that point. Probably less than that.
Yeah, I've got a shrinker.
No.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
That's fucked up. Next question.
Yeah,
that was brutal. We bounced back
from asking another one, whoever that is.
We're bouncing back a little bit here, though. If all edible fish, birds, reptiles, mammals became inedible, would you become a vegetarian or eat like, you know how like different countries have gourmet bugs and stuff like that in place of meat and fish? They have like big ass caterpillars people eat and big worms and stuff like that. What would you pick, vegetarian or that?
I'd give that stuff a try.
Yeah,
I mean, I've never tried it, so I don't know, but I'm sure you can like prepare them the same way. Throw a little teriyaki sauce on them or something. Like
put a little ranch in there.
You can make it good. Throw it in with some rice.
I tried. I forgot what bug it was, but it was like a chocolate covered bug. It was actually decent, a little crispy. I mean, it's not too bad. So I think I'd go the bug route.
I've had barbecue crickets, and they're not terrible. They are good.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely give it a try. Why not?
Yeah. I just kind of was thinking in my head, like, I'm thinking of like those like the lower area, like the southern area of Thailand. They eat like foot-long worms, and they splay them open and put vegetables and shit in them. And I think it was Anthony Bourdain, Rip. He tried one of them, and like watching him eat it, I almost threw up. So I couldn't do it. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that would be the initial thing is like getting over like actually seeing it and like maybe because even like with some like I'm not a big like sushi guy. You guys like sushi, I think. I know Matt does. Trevor, I think you do too. But a lot of that is like texture wise for me. Like the actual flavor, once I like actually get it down, it's not bad. But it's just like the This was kind of gross.
Watching Cable puke is one of my favorite things in the world.
It's pretty good, yeah. Or watching him react to puke is also.
It does not take much.
And you know how I know he could not eat one of these worms or even one of these bugs is the fact that he couldn't get a dog treat down up at the mountain.
Oh yeah, that's probably true.
That was good. That was the easiest $20 I've ever made.
But so, like, for this though, like, say I don't like these bugs, I can resort back to being a vegetarian. I'm not just like screwed, right? Like, I'm not getting vegetarian option taken away.
No, you gotta commit. You gotta commit.
No, it's either one or the other.
Well, fuck.
Because I could be a vegetarian right now very easily. I can make that bet with anyone.
I could too if I made the bet, like, I could do it. But I've also tried like vegetarian options.
Right, like portobello mushrooms.
Tried bugs though. That's the thing.
Or like a little bell pepper with a shitload of other vegetables and cheese in it. Because it doesn't say vegan; it just says vegetarian.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not giving away cheese. If this was vegan, I'd be eating some fucking worms. Well, yeah, those are some good listener questions. Except for
the one. I'm not a fan of that one.
Yeah, that was fun.
Great content, though. Love that it was that.
Matt just hopped right in. And
well, I just said I'm going to be a bigger man and do it, man. I'm a man of the people.
Well, now we're setting up for a new segment. This new segment is called, can I get a little drum roll, please?
Okay.
Christmas Vacation style.
Exactly, I got you.
Yes.
The new segment
those that didn't know that
is called World War III, America v. Poland.
Oh my God!
Wait for it though.
I win.
I think I don't want to take bets here, but I think I know who's going to win this segment ahead of time, and they're wearing a green shirt.
It's going to be Matt. Yeah, I already know.
Right.
I don't win any segments in this fucking podcast to begin with, so it doesn't matter what it is.
So for the next 3 weeks, I'm going to be asking you 5 questions a week of progressively harder questions about American history. Not anything very difficult, and just common American stuff too. And
where does Poland come into play?
Yeah.
Well, if he wins, then he beats America. He knows America better than you do.
Oh, I like this. Yes, I could do this.
I see where we're at here.
So make sure you do not have any browsers up. Matt, I can tell when you do because your face fucking glows white.
I'm good.
Our first question of this week. Which president is listed on the U.S. nickel?
Jesus.
The nickel is Jefferson.
It is Jefferson. Holy shit!
Yeah. Is that history?
That it was
part of history.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a nickel in about 2 years.
Hey,
you can't say that.
$5 at the cashier for a can of Copenhagen mint. Get a couple of nickels back.
There you go.
All right, the next one.
Good.
Listen closely to this one. Which one of these U.S. presidents was in fact not a U.S. president? Last names only. Harding, Grant, Hayes, Arnold, Rutherford.
Arnold.
Rutherford.
It's Arnold. Damn, Cable coming in. 2-0 start. Okay.
Come on.
I'm not happy about this. I'm not happy about this.
I just need one more to take the week.
This is bad.
I'm honestly, no offense, Cable, I thought Matt was going to sweep this thing.
I should be sweeping.
You want to know why I'm getting these? Because up front, I was told that I was going to lose. I'm not a loser.
Here's the shit talking that has motivated him to win.
Yes.
All right. So, in the United States history, what was the first capital of the United States? So, D.C. is our current capital. What was the first capital?
I'm going to say
shit, man.
Charleston?
No.
Philadelphia.
No.
Warmer.
Not like warmer climate. It's more towards Philadelphia. So
Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
Pittsburgh?
No. But you're getting there.
Fuck, man.
Dude, fuck me.
Think big cities.
Boston.
Oh, that's a good pick.
Warmer.
New England. Okay, that's like 3 states. Dude, I don't know, man.
Hold on.
Somewhere in Maine.
I'll keep giving clues here.
Yes, please.
Okay.
It is a current U.S. state capital.
But that doesn't help me.
Yeah, that does not help me.
It is one of the
Columbus.
It is one of the biggest cities in the whole world.
New York City.
New York City is it?
That was the first capital.
That was the first U.S. capital.
I'm thinking like the 13 colonies and stuff.
That's why I said Virginia.
Right. I was thinking Virginia. I was thinking Pennsylvania, Massachusetts. I was thinking that area, but
yep.
Shit.
All right.
I took the week, so we can keep going.
Dude, you keep going though. Yeah, I'm not happy.
All right, here we go. Who is listed on the U.S. $50 bill?
Oh fuck, that's Grant.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, I'm done with this.
Wow.
I'm done with this. Who are you?
Wow.
Wow.
I love it.
This is the worst.
Oh my
Put
God.
on for my country.
I honestly don't even know what to say.
I'm speechless. I have no idea what's happening.
Yeah, this is not good.
Let's just make it a clean sweep. Here we go.
All right. Last one. What are the first few words of the United States preamble?
We the people.
Got it.
Yeah.
I got one.
That should count as 3. That should count as 3.
No, it doesn't.
So this week we got Cable 4, Maciej 1.
Jesus. Not good. All right, I'm going to come back next week. I got to brush up on my 7th and 8th grade history.
Yeah, no, that was –
and currency.
I'm impressed.
Hats off, man. Respecting your name.
I know we didn't really have it listed on this week's episode, but I think we dive into it just a little bit because Caleb sent it on Twitter, I believe. Yep.
Yes.
He said, did you know Jason Kendall had an objectively better career than Yadier Molina?
Did you guys open that article?
I did not, no.
And look at it?
No, talk to me.
Okay. So the gist of it here is they're just talking number-wise, better career. Jason Kendall was a very hated player. Let's see here. I got to pull it up. I wasn't ready for this. I wasn't paying attention, to be honest.
I'm in the article if you want me to.
Okay. Yeah.
So the original tweet was Kendall played 15 years in the MLB, had more or equal walks and strikeouts in 9 of those seasons. His rankings for catchers is 20th all-time compared to Yadi at 24, and his WAR was 41.7 compared to Yadi's 40.1. Is Kendall Hall of Fame worthy? Yadi fans asking people, is he worthy? And so, what? Let me just throw out this.
Okay, hold on. Before you go on, so then it goes. They throw a couple of their stats. I'm just gonna read you both of their career stat lines. Obviously, Yadi's still active. Career WAR for Kendall 41.7. Yadi 40.1. At bats, Kendall had 7,600, and Yadi has 6,900. Hits, Kendall 2,195. Yadi has 1,963. Kendall only has 75 home runs, as Yadi has 156. But Kendall has a 288 career batting average, and Yadi has a 282 career batting average as it sits right now. Yadi obviously still has some years in them.
Does he?
Limited years.
Yeah.
So he can improve.
One more thing you missed out is Jason Kendall. I'm looking up his baseball reference site right now. He's got 189 steals as a catcher.
Yeah, 189 steals to Yadi's 66. RBIs, Kendall has 744. Yadi has 916. So quite a few more. But total runs, 1,030 for Kendall and only 701 for Yadi.
So here's my thing. I first off was astounded, jaw dropped.
Yeah.
When I saw that Yadi had 66 steals in his career.
Fuck yeah, me too.
He is a 0 speed on MLB The Show for the last 12 years.
That's true.
He's pulling a trailer behind him. He is the slowest human out there. I was also my jaw dropped at how good Jason Kendall was without really realizing it, and he was kind of a badass motherfucker. So in this article here, Matt, he goes, and for the fans who thought I was an asshole, you were right, but I still respect you for loving the game. He also used to not wear batting gloves so he could take out splinters between his hands of doubleheaders.
He 254 career hit by pitches, the 5th most all time, and 3% hit by pitch rate, meaning 1 out of 33 plate appearances. Craig Biggio is considered the modern era's biggest target, but he only got drilled about 1 of every 46 times he got in the box.
Dang.
And Jason Kendall's batting stance. I don't know if you guys remember. It's
yeah,
awesome. Like he's choked up. He looks like a little leaguer, but he could. I mean, he hit.
He walked 35 more times in his career than he struck out.
For the viewers.
So here's the thing about Jason Kendall. I think I'm shocked that he's this good.
And also, they mentioned in this article that he did all this while playing for a shitty Pirates team, while Yadi has played for a pretty good Cardinals team majority of his career.
So that's what I was going to say. The only thing that Yadi has over Kendall is he played with one team for 15, 16 years, and he's got several championships, and he's a way better defender. But their WAR is the same. Kendall's probably a better hitter, so I think he should be in the Hall of Fame.
So
overall, hold on, one more fact from the article, and we'll get into talking here. Kendall has more runs, hits, stolen bases, total bases, walks, on-base percentage, doubles, triples, and weighted runs created plus, and as well as strikeout percentage. Those are so category-wise, it's a lot of fucking categories.
Yeah.
So the things that obviously stood out was Yadi's a 9-time All-Star to his 3, which that's also fan voting. And
that doesn't matter.
The St. Louis market is bigger than the Pittsburgh market as far as fan interactivity goes. 2-time World Series. Can you say they were really because of him? In 2011, he did save multiple games actually, with very big hits. But 9-time Gold Gloves, like you said, obviously a better catcher, but also a Silver Slugger award.
Yeah,
for Yadi, and a 4-time Platinum Glove.
Yeah.
So what the thing I'm looking at this is
defensive stats in this article,
right? So the thing I'm looking at
part of that though.
Yeah,
we're looking at a lot
specified deep, like how many batters has he thrown out, how many batters has he picked off at first, or runners. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like that's huge.
Yeah, and we're looking at 700 less at bats from Yadier Molina, but with almost 200 more RBIs. To me, I don't care how many runs you're physically scoring, as long as you're driving them in. He's in a place in the lineup where his only goal is to get himself on base.
How many? Obviously, not like mid-game and early game or early season, but like how many times has Yadi gotten on base late game or late in the season and he gets pinch ran for because they need a run or whatever, you know? And so that's all those runs taken away.
They asked like a group of people the other day, and of course Cardinals players said it, but there was multiple players from other teams asking who one of the most clutch players is in the league, and it's him. Like when you need a guy in a big spot to just deliver not a big hit, it's just a chip shot that drops between the shortstop and the left fielder.
Somebody getting on base.
He does it almost every time. And he doesn't strike out often either, I don't feel like.
I just sent this just because I wanted conversation with you guys. I didn't have a bias on either one. I mean, obviously I'm a Cubs fan, so people are automatically probably thinking that I'm anti-Yadi, but I've made this very known to you guys and other people that like Yadi is probably one of my favorite players in the league. Like,
right.
I think he's very good at his position. He's one of, if not the best catcher that's come up through the MLB. Definitely top 3. So,
Yadi has been in the league longer than Kendall, but has started less games. That's kind of crazy. I'm looking at that right now.
He's been injured.
Well, because
right?
He doesn't get injured.
Matheny was still there.
Right. He came in.
So he was behind Matheny.
He was behind Matheny, and then when Jason LaRue came in, they wanted to get Yadi time to sit to like save him, but then LaRue was like just going on an absolute tear. That was when the big Reds Cardinals brawl was.
Oh, yeah. That was early.
LaRue is like just hitting the shit out of the ball, so they just let him play for a few weeks and sat Yachty. I don't know. I think I also look like I know we're looking at an average, and you say, well, Kendall's is better, but you got Yachty at 156 home runs compared to Kendall's 75.
Yeah, that definitely
over double. I mean, it's crazy.
But he also retired in 2010. That's before the juice ball. But I mean, he's obviously Yachty. He's got more pop.
Yeah. And Yachty right now, let's see, he was 21. Let's see here, so it's 16. Dude, he's old as fuck.
Yeah.
To be a catcher. That's a long time as a catcher.
Yeah, I don't see Yachty playing more than 2 or 3 more years.
But I think that the article was saying, like, Yachty.
It was Barstool Chicago, too, that put it out. So it was like a little bias towards Kendall just for the fact that it was Yachty on the other end. But, I mean, stats don't lie either. But
yeah, I think that what the article is saying is Cardinal fans are always like, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. I would not call Yadier Molina first ballot Hall of Famer. Like, I mean, he's very good. I wouldn't call him a first ballot. I mean, you look at a guy, I think he's very good, but I wouldn't be like he's a first ballot. Absolutely. When Jared Kendall's numbers look like that close to him. Defensively is the only thing that gets him in the argument for being first ballot.
So this was the thing I didn't look at. Jorge Posada, is he in? He's not in the Hall of Fame, right?
No.
No.
Has he been on a ballot?
I believe so, yeah. He's retired several years ago.
Yeah.
Should have been.
So he wasn't a first ballot?
No. He's not in the Hall of Fame.
But the thing is,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
It's hard to look at him, and he was overshadowed often. Like, even then, I think Mike Piazza was a better catcher than Jorge Posada, and they shared a lot of their career in the same city.
Yeah.
Right.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
But Piazza was on steroids, too. Let's not forget that.
Oh, you shut up. That mullet's homegrown. I don't want to hear that negativity.
I'm working on my mullet right now, boys.
Oh, God.
For the YouTube listeners.
Oh, it's horrible.
Look at that shit.
Nice. I like it. Looking good, man.
Good podcast.
But, yeah, speaking of Molina and baseball, it's coming back. They said, I don't know if you guys saw, I think Carl Ravitch tweeted or one of the
114-game season.
Yep.
But I thought they were saying 60-game season, like regular game season.
Last thing I heard today was 114-game season.
Anyway, but they're gonna no minor leagues this year. They're gonna have up to 35 people on the team. So it's gonna be different. But yeah, I'm ready for it.
Yeah, it's gonna be very different.
I'm not believing anything until I hear an official deal.
I agree.
We've been hearing all these proposals for 2 months now. I mean, since the beginning of the COVID, they were already trying to get these proposals, and I got excited for a few of them, and then nothing's happening, and then they all got in arguments about money, and now we're where we're at with still no baseball. And one of the proposals was, oh yeah, we're gonna have it starting by July 4th with spring training starting in June, and here we are, June 1, and they're nowhere close to even hopping on the field. So I would love for it to come back. I still think that it will come back, but I think we still have at least another month before we see any baseball happening.
I agree. Hard to agree with that.
Which kind of sucks, man. It makes baseball look bad with the arguments that they're having. I mean, I get. I'm siding more with the players, I think, overall. But in the long run, like the NHL figured something out, and they're playing. And I guarantee the NBA is going to figure out something like before baseball figures it out.
Yeah,
and NFL has time to play with because they might just miss training camps, OTAs, that type of stuff, but they're going to probably get a full season under their belt. Right. So that makes the MLB look really shitty.
Yeah. Dude, there's 100% there's going to be a lockout in, is it 21 or 22, whenever the CBA expires. Like this is the negotiations are having now.
Yes.
Tony Clark as the PA president, he's going to be out as well. So this is not good.
Yep, I agree.
We need sports, please.
You need sports.
Yeah. If anyone's listening, but shit, man, I think like in the summertime, like the thing that I look forward to the most is baseball, and there's none. So like, yeah, we'll get these other sports, but I don't watch hockey. I don't give a fuck about hockey, but if basketball comes back, that'd be great. And when football season starts up, that would be great. But shit, man, like right now, we should have been 2 months into the season right now. I mean,
right.
There's nothing better than a sunny day, just like hanging out, listening to baseball on the radio, or like nighttime baseball on ESPN or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Yep. Speaking of, you mentioned football, so there's a parallel universe where Trubisky is the best quarterback of all time.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm just saying there is.
Probably true.
That's the only universe that's not possible.
And Nick Foles has a little dick in that universe.
Yes, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
I don't think that's the universe I want to be in either.
Hey, staying on the sports train, Matt, being a Bulls fan that you are, Trevor, Nuggets fan, you're not a part of this. But,
yeah, big Nuggets guy.
They replaced Neil Funk with Adam Amin. Did you see that?
I did see that. Honestly, I've never really heard much from him.
He's an ESPN guy, but he's from Chicago.
Oh, nice.
He's done some ESPN broadcasts of baseball, basketball, like everything. But I think it'll be a good fit. I just don't know how him and Stacey King are going to work together. But
Stacey King and Neil Funk had that
they had the
vibe, like the old white dude, and like Stacey King obviously has a lot of personality. So we'll see how this works.
Is he related to Don King?
Yes, that's his brother.
Cool.
Probably, yeah.
Yep.
That would put Stacey at being like 90.
That's right.
No, Stacey played with Jordan and them, so I mean he's probably 50s.
Yeah, he's the man. Who do you guys think is gonna? This is kind of going on a tangent here, but Monday Night Football, the booth is open. Who do you think is gonna get it?
Who do I think is gonna get it, or who do I want to have it?
Who do you want?
I know who you want.
Pat McAfee. Put him in there.
He's not gonna get it. He's not going to.
But
yeah,
they should.
They'll put another CTE riddled tight end in there, and we'll have to wait until he blows his brains out in the offseason to get him.
Oh, that's brutal! Oh my god! Jeez.
I'm here all week, folks.
Yeah. Hey, we're gonna use that as the preview clip for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good.
Thanks. If they wanted their ratings to go through the roof, they put McAfee on, but that's the NFL's choice. I mean, I don't know.
I could see them going with like Eli because they can't get Peyton, so it might be Eli. Or what if it's Peyton and Eli in the booth?
Peyton already
might be the most boring, freaking mouth breathing.
Not with Peyton in there.
Booth
Peyton
of all time.
Make it fun.
Honestly,
he'd be cool.
Peyton said he didn't want to do it though.
Oh, speaking of NFL, sorry, we should have probably covered this. Dave Portnoy is not allowed to go sit at the commissioner's
They did a background check on him.
Yeah, dude, that's such a bitch move by Goodell.
So you know who got second place in that bidding?
No.
Marlins, man.
Shut up.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
I swear to God.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
We talked about this last podcast. This would have been such a good opportunity for Goodell to like squash that beef and like come off as like a normal human being and get like a lot of fans on his side, but he typical just shits the bed.
They addressed it in today's part of my take.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I give it a listen, but they were talking about they ended up doing first background check ever for like some stupid shit like this, and this is for like COVID relief, right? So they're like not accepting his money and not letting him come in because like he's got him arrested.
I'd be doing the biggest smear campaign of my life. Yeah. I'd be like, I paid $510,000 and Marlins may only put in $450, so $60,000.
But so the thing is, they were talking about like, so now we're waiting for the next move. Like, are they gonna take somebody else in, or are they just gonna say, oh no, we're not doing it? And then that makes Roger Goodell look even worse than the rep he already has.
True. And
like the NFL in general, it's like, this is a COVID relief fund. Like, you got to bring somebody in to do this. This is for that all-in challenge or whatever.
Right.
And everybody else is like staying word to whatever that they put up for bid. But it's like, if they just squash this all together, it's like Roger Goodell is not making any case for himself for being better of a person than what he already had.
Things are going to get way worse for him.
I would have loved to see Portnoy with them.
Yeah.
And, but now that if they won't put him on there, I'm interested in seeing Marlins man on there. Like, why not?
That's going to be the weirdest combination of all time.
Yeah, that's going to be the most uncomfortable living room of all time.
Just two lawyers talking.
What would you rather see? Well, I guess they're not doing – I guess if Dave would have done it, there would have probably been content and stuff. But, like, they probably won't with anybody else. But it's like if they were doing content or live look-ins or whatever, like, would you rather see Dave Portnoy with the commissioner or some, like, random guy from fucking anywhere just hanging out with them, and then you got a camera on them, like, hey, so
how is your family?
Yeah, like just awkward small talk conversation. Or you could have Dave in there. Electric conversations. Yeah. Guarantee you that would happen.
So why do you fucking hate me?
Yeah. And then they would do a pizza review together.
That would have been it right there, yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, we're going to get into our breather banger here, boys.
Breather banger and wrap her up, boys.
All right, Matt. What do you have for us?
So this one, this is kind of more on a serious note, but obviously with like the killing of George Floyd, right? And like the stuff that's going on. One of my favorite songs of all time by Tupac, Changes, banger. That's also one of those songs that like once you hear like the first couple of tunes or notes, you know exactly what song it is.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, my song this week, Changes by Tupac.
No, Beautiful. I think that's a great pick, especially with everything going on. I mean, we're not, like we said before, we're not big political podcasts. We're not like big into that, but I think it needs to just be mentioned that, I mean, things do need to change. So, I mean, this song definitely helps that. And this is from the 90s. It's been talked about in the 90s. It's been talked about forever. So run it.
Yep. Well, before we get off here, make sure you like, subscribe, rate, and review the podcast on Apple, Spotify, all of the listening platforms. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and our new YouTube page. And we are out.
Thank you.
Later.
See you.